One Friday fights, 1-1-2 took place this Friday. It was a 12 fight card and it was 9 knockouts on this fight card. Abdallah Ondash got a fantastic finish over Singdomthing in the main event, and we will do a recap for this one. Up next in Fighting with Friends. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's your brother guy back again doing another recap of 1-1-2. This card had me speechless watching it live, just because there were so many finishes and so many crazy finishes and knockdowns after knockdowns, people coming back from knockdowns and still winning the fight. It was definitely a fight card that goes down in probably one of the best fight cards of the year so far, under the One Championship banner, particularly talking about the Friday fights cards. This was just action packed from the get-go. But as always, we will start at the top of the card. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do a preview for this one. Unfortunately, I was just still recovering from the sickness, but we're here now, and I was able to catch the fight card, and like I said, it was absolutely insane. So let's start from the top. Singdomthing took on Abdallah Ondash in a catchweight Muay Thai bout, 127 pounds, so they're just just over that flyweight mark. But geez, this fight wasn't even it didn't even last that long to kind of do a proper recap on it. It was ended in the first round, in the first minute, and kind of went out the way I thought it would when I saw the matchup. I did think that Singdomthing was going to be able to do a little bit more, make the fight a little bit difficult for Abdallah. Utilize his range, kick the body, which he loves to do. I mean, Singdomthing loves that switch kick to the body, but Abdallah Ondash was just privy to this. He was just really evasive in the way they was able to stay away from Singdomthing's body kicks, but also he was ever dangerous, right? Like the way that he was walking Singdomthing down, and the way he was just the order in the way that he was moving Singdomthing back into the ropes was something to witness. I mean, he looked big in there. He looked really muscular, much bigger than Singdomthing, and I just thought that for a second it's just a weight bully kind of situation. But I had to remember it was a catchweight bout, so one of them was going to come in a little bit heavier than the other one. But Abdallah just looks massive for flyweight, I must be honest. And the power is there, the speed is there. You've seen the Ondash brothers fight. They've got this blistering electric pace, a little bit faster than most of the guys in One Championship. And then to back it up is that they also have a lot of power that they produce. From that speed, it's something to witness, and it's going to make them very much a difficult challenge for a lot of the guys in the One Championship. But in terms of this fight, like the way he set up that left hook finish, I think there was a moment where he landed a right hand, I think it was a right hand to the body, and basically got Singdomthing thinking, "Oh, what the hell's going on here?" And then when he got Singdomthing backed up into the corner, he literally just uncorked a nice straight check left hook, and it kind of slipped Singdomthing. Like he wasn't able to even recover from that. He just went straight down, face first, and he was flat, and he couldn't make the count. There was no point in even making a count because he wasn't moving, and it was a devastating finish. And it was it shocked me because I expected a little bit more from Singdomthing, considering that he's such a fantastic prospect and he's got a good name and he's fought a lot of guys and he's on a good win streak. And you know what I mean? He's just one of those fighters that you don't really see lose. And the way Abdallah just watched right through him was left me going, what's up with his Ondash brothers? Why they're so intense? But I do stand by what I say. I do think that Abdallah is massive flower. I think there's something to be checked there. I don't know if he's never able to make the weight as he gets older. He's 23 years old, so I just got the feeling that he's going to be bigger as he gets older, and he's going to have to maybe choose bantamweight, maybe even featherweight as he progresses in his career. But at the moment, if he's going to stay in this division, he's going to be a massive puzzle for everybody. And so far, I'm a big fan, purely just because the style that they have is, he reminds me a lot of what's his name, Nico Carrillo, when he burst into the scene, just bigger than everybody, more powerful, faster, and just lets these heavy hands go. I like that, but I'm also not a big fan of it because you're fighting against a lot of people that are like half your size, right? So I just think that with Abdallah Ondash, what makes me excited about having him compete against the 127 or the 125 pounders is that it's a good challenge, man. It's a good challenge for those guys. If I'm fighting at this weight division and someone that's as big as Abdallah Ondash coming in, and I'm thinking, okay, he's a bit massive, but the challenge intrigues me. It goes, okay, if I beat this dude, like I took down someone that's technically a weight or two above me, so it's a fantastic challenge for a lot of fighters, and so I'm very keen to see what he gets. I know he got a bonus, so I just want to see if the One Championship's gonna give him a contact. He's probably gonna have to go through like another 2 more fights before he gets that contact. But beating someone like Singdomthing is the right step in the direction for me, and I think that's what we're gonna see next for Abdallah Ondash. Is probably another fighter that is either very close to being contacted or already contacted fighter, and I think that's next best thing for the guy. For Singdomthing, he's only 23, so 25, excuse me. So I just think that there's a lot of time still. There's a lot of time. He's a talented fighter, very good Muay Thai practitioner, and I think that there's still a lot that we're going to get from Singdomthing going forward in the One Championship. But for this one, I just think he got outpowered, outspeed, outmatched, and even just like I said, the order thing. It was Singdomthing looked a little frightened by what Abdallah was presenting. And I think that's something we're gonna have to recognize, and he's gonna have to recognize as he progresses as well. That he's gonna have to fight in a way that you don't have to overly rely on your back foot. You can also meet in the middle, and I know it's dangerous, but you can also make fighters like Abdallah Ondash. What Kong did really well against Ramadan Ondash was that he kicked the body endlessly, and he had Ramadan Ondash rethinking about how he wants to fight the fight. And he couldn't just spam that left hook every time. He had to rethink it because Kong Chai was making his body work and making his legs work, and he had to think about how he needed to fight that fight. So I'm a bit surprised that they actually still getting that win back. But okay, enough on that. If you've got any thoughts about this matchup, about the win and who these guys should be fighting next, let me know in the comments, please. I'd love to hear your thoughts. We will keep it moving because a lot of these fights ended very, very quickly, so we will have to keep it moving to the co-main event where Pitt took on Tuan, and this was also a fantastic fight. Strawweight Muay Thai, so there was no catch weights here, which I like, which means we will see these guys more frequently in a division that is already stacked with a bunch of fantastic fighters. We know Ali from Japan that he fought a good fight against Ahmedi Al-Jamari. He's going to fight against Tachang Chai for the title. So there's a division that's full of killers. In this fight, I think first minute of the first round, there was a finish, and I got to give props to Tuan because sometimes in the past I've seen fights where maybe it takes a little bit too long to get started, and athletes are just piecing themselves up. I think he only has one loss, but other fights that he did win, there was some moment in those fights where he had to claw something back. The fight that he did lose was against Brazil, and Brazil was just all over him, more active than what he was, and I had Tuan missing a lot of his shots. So in this fight, what I liked about what he did was he didn't wait. He didn't wait to get that rev going. He just went straight in, worked off his jab, started pressurizing Pitt from the get-go, and I like that because it makes him really dangerous. It's not like he's just taking pictures and then waiting to get punched before he starts fighting back. He started the fight. We know that a lot of the Burma fighters have got the best durability in any sport, right? And especially combat sports. So there's no doubt that he was able to take whatever Pitt was going to throw at him. It's just a matter of is he going to be able to outwork him? Is he going to come back and outwork Pitt? I didn't have to get there. That ended so quickly with one of the, in fact, in my opinion, it was knockout of the night. Style points all over the show. There was fantastic knockouts throughout the fight, throughout the card, but I think this particular knockout was definitely the most stylish. And for me, that's why I got knockout of the night, because as Pitt was coming in with a straight right, he was coming fast with a straight right, very aggressively. Tuan just turned. Oh, no, he wasn't coming in fast. Excuse me. He was attacking. He was coming in with an attack, and then Tuan just threw out a straight right. And as he threw out the straight right, he immediately span into a spinning back elbow, and probably one of the cleanest spinning back elbows you will see, because it was landing flush on the face of Pitt, knocking him out literally, like he wasn't able to even recover for any sort of count, no 8 count at all. And yeah, that's just pretty much how the fight played out, because before that spinning elbow, Tuan was just blasting some body kicks, some good right hands, pretty much was having Pitt struggling to find his range, because he was just swinging. In fact, with that right elbow, that spinning back elbow landed because Pitt was caught out in position with the swing. he threw a left hand and it was completely missed and got that elbow. And like I said, Toylin, the dude is stoic. The dude didn't even laugh. Got a bonus, still didn't even smile. Which Chilson had to really beg the smile out to him. But he's a fascinating fighter, dude. 23 years old, 22 years old, excuse me. Fascinating fighter. Tough as nails, hard to put away. Barely gets knocked down or gets knocked out. He's just a superb, durable, good athlete. And I think it's going to be a problem for strawweight division. I really do. I think he's going to be a top prospect. He's really a top prospect. But I think that now that we have fighters like Nadaka Yoshinari, what's his name? Wang Linlock is going to fight against Nadaka Yoshinari. So what that means is that they're probably going to be fighting for an overall title. And that means we will have a possible champion in the division and we will have a top 10 or top 5. And I think Toylin Tet is definitely in the top 10 for me. If we look at the way he performed, maybe going forward, he could get a fight back against Brazil just so he can correct that blemish on his record. But dude, the strawweight division is really shaping up to be probably the best to watch. I know that the bantamweight, flyweight, and featherweight Muay Thai is still built with a lot of killers that put on fascinating fights every time. Like we really can't wait to watch any of those guys fight in any of those divisions. But now that the strawweight's getting a lot more light because there's a potential champion on the line, these guys put on the best performances for me. It's fast-paced, top technique. And what's amazing about this, the lighter divisions, is guys are getting dropped and then coming back and getting drops again and getting the comeback knockouts. So that they really put on movie-like performances, and I just really enjoyed it. So yeah, I love to see more of Toylin get to fight again because that was a top performance. Big ups for getting that bonus as well. But okay, we'll keep moving. Again, another fight that kind of stole the shows. If you think about how the performances played out, we had face Eren. He took on Pakurin, and this was also catchweight Muay Thai, as you can see on screen. And all of this chaotic things happened within 2 rounds. I think the first round, Pakurin was doing really well. It looked like face Eren was trying to. It looked like he felt like he was the bigger, more powerful fighter, which wasn't really the case. But he was using that bullish kind of momentum where he was walking Pakurin down and having him fight with the back foot. And I think he even landed a very, very good knockdown in the first round. Kind of a straight left and knocked Pakurin down, right? And then he got back up, he made the 8 count, corrected his hair really nicely, and then he immediately went back on the front foot and started walking face down. Obviously, that was at the end of the first round. And then when we got into the second round, it was more of the same, but this time Pakurin was a bit slicker with his counter and stepping back because he wasn't necessarily just letting face walk him down the way. Face came quite aggressively in the beginning of the second round, throwing some heavy strikes, and Pakurin just stepped back and took an angle and threw a high kick. Landed flush on face, dropping him immediately. And to Face's credit, he actually got back up from that knockdown, which was shocking. I thought he wasn't able to make it, and he got back up from that knockdown. But you could see he was still seeing the cobwebs. He wasn't really into it. You could see he was still really trying to figure out where he's at because he's been getting up. I'm surprised they even allowed it because he was, he's still walking sideways while he was literally coming to the number 8. So he made the count, which I still think was a bit strange. I think the counting was a bit slow because you could have saved him from that. I think that if you could have saved him from that extra onslaught that happened afterwards, because when he made the count, Pakurin just walked him down, started getting him to exchange. Face was throwing back, surprisingly, but you could see it lacked a lot of venom, and he was just dazed all over the place. And then when he was walking backwards to the ropes, he was about to fall, and Pakurin just threw a nice up left kick, roundhouse left kick to the face, and luckily the ref was in time just to catch Face from that moment, from falling down again, and saved him from just getting brutally damaged. But dude, what a fight again, because like I said, Face was landing a fantastic knockdown in the first round, and Pakurin came back and then finished the fight in the second round in a very dramatic fashion. And again, it was hard for me to pick a knockout of the night or performance of the night. And now I gave knockout of the night to Toylin because of that spinning back elbow, and also the way he set it up. But with this fight was up there in terms of fights of the night. Not this is knockout of the night, but fights of the night, just because of the sheer nature of Pakurin having to come back from adversity, or basically almost being finished, and he came back and he got a fantastic knockout. So yeah, I think that was a great win. And for Face, what I like about him is he's got this cockiness about him, this nature in how he fights, but sometimes it's a bit to the point where he's almost overly aggressive and disregarding the opponent, because that's how he got caught. He was too bullish and he left himself open. His hands were quite low and he was walking like a little bit like the Conor McGregor kind of stance. And I just thought that was a bit risky in a sport where no one's getting taken down. You just fighting. It's Muay Thai, so you should keep your hands up. You should keep your hands up, because that high kick was flush and it came off a back foot counter. So I think Face had to really, going forward, he's going to have to really think about how he's going to approach his fights, because you can't keep your hands that low. You just can't. The risk is way too high of getting caught to something, and yeah, this fight proved that. But for Pakurin, top performance. And I think he got a bonus as well, so that was really well done for him. But okay, we'll keep it moving. I'm not too sure who they should be getting next, because like I said, it's a catchweight fight. So the thing about these catchweight fights, it's hard to really place who they should be fighting next, because it's not like when you fight in catchweight, you can really climb in your rankings. It's more about putting on a lot of great performances so that you can get a contract. You know, that's what it comes down to, really. But top performance from Pakurin, I really enjoyed it. This fight, though, oh my soul. So we have Saman Chai. He took on Asanoi. This was a strawweight Muay Thai fight. Also, again, just fireworks from the get-go. But also clash of styles, by the way. So from the first round, Saman Chai looked like the guy that's just hard to catch. Really slick movement, fast footwork, great counters, fights with his hands low, so he's dodging. He's got that basketball movement, footwork kind of thing. Just making him miss a lot of the time. And Asanoi was heavy-handed. A lot of hooks, a lot of strong jabs, overhand rights. Like keeps his guard up, really boxing heavy stance. Doesn't kick that much. Just closes you down and wants to just attack the body a lot. And he was doing a lot of that work, right? And I have to give props to Saman Chai for actually surprising me with his durability, because there were some body shots in there that I thought would have folded anybody. But he took them. And there were moments where you could see he was getting a little bit tired, and he took some of those damages, those shots to the face as well. And he was fighting off the back foot. A lot of the fight was Saman Chai getting chased down by Asanoi, and Saman Chai was just fighting out of the counter positions. And I think he quite enjoys that quite a bit because of his way of countering. He throws elbows, he can counter with high kicks and low, all sorts of stuff, right? And there was a moment where he landed a high kick in the first round where he dropped Asanoi coming in. Asanoi got up, he covered, and he was shaking his shoes, nodding like, okay, you got me this time, but I'm going to get you back now. And to his credit, he did come back into the first round. It was early knockdown in the first round. He came back, majority of that first round. He was putting Saman Chai back against the ropes, land some bombs, even rocked Saman Chai. And then in the second round, the same thing happened. He was rocking Saman Chai. Asanoi was chasing him down again. I just didn't like the way Asanoi's entries were when he came into that pocket, right? When he was actually entering the void, he really did leave his face open because he was way too aggressive. He was moments he was even like just running forward with his hands down like this and just waiting to just unload something heavy. And Saman Chai, because his countering was so slick, I was really blown away by his ability to land that high kick and actually knock Asanoi out flat. And well-deserved performance, well-deserved bonus, good knockout. The way he celebrated was as if he was going through the toughest fight of his life. Look, it was a grueling performance. I mean, Asanoi was really getting Saman Chai, putting him through the ringer, forcing him to fight an ugly fight, and I can understand the celebration was warranted. I'm intrigued. Again, it's another strawweight athlete. It means this division is again, like I said earlier, filling out with some fantastic performance, some fantastic fighters. And Saman Chai, I'm going to remember that name. I'm definitely going to remember that. Even Asanoi as well. They're both very young. I think Asanoi, there's a lot that he can learn from that performance, especially in terms of the knockout. He left himself open in a very amateur-like way. The hands were too low. He was way too aggressive. He was chasing down the knockdown, which is fine. I get that. He wanted to get the knockdown back. But sitting up those heavy hands makes you a lot more dangerous than just chasing someone down with bombs. Because there were sometimes he was even entering with the 1-2. And I thought to myself, you're trying to cover the distance with the 1-2 against a striker that's slick at countering. It's just way too dangerous. And that's how he got caught. Saman Chai, looking forward to it, recover. And I want to see him fight again, at least in 2025, at least one more time, because I think there's something in there. I do think that elite fighters like maybe he's flyweight, Song Kunoi, athletes like that, even Ali, for example, the Al Jamadi brothers, I think they would really beat him up in the sense of they won't really fall for the antics in terms of the trickery and the, for lack of a better word, the Sugar Sean O'Malley show kind of thing. They won't fall for that. They would close him down and make him fight in the phone booth. And I do think that the power advantage isn't really in Saman Chai's favor. He doesn't have the heaviest of hands, but how he's able to get knockouts is that he's so slick and he can counter in positions with kicks in a way that you won't really suspect it coming, and that's what makes him very, very dangerous. Also, footwork is just difficult to catch, and fighters with good footwork they usually become champions. Because footwork is a very, very important fundamental when it comes to combat sports, and Saman Chai has got one of the best. Okay, let's keep it moving. Another finish. So this fight we had Tanak, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Tanak, he took on Bin Ladin. This was a catchweight Muay Thai bout, 123 pounds. And just like the fight that I was speaking about before this, one guy got a knockdown, the other guy comes back and wins the fight. And I thought it was a fantastic performance. In the very beginning of the first round, Bin Ladin was definitely utilizing a good boxing stance. He was closing the distance, utilizing that jab, picking that jab out in a very good way, and setting up Tanak in a way that he couldn't really get out of that phone booth because Bin Laden was keeping him in that section, keeping him in the line of fire and letting those right hands go and forcing those gunfights to happen. And when it did happen, Bin Laden did come out on top in that first round, dropping Tanak in that first round. Beautiful knockdown, by the way. Stick boxing landed in that knockdown. But that was basically the first round. When they got into the second round, it's like the roles just reversed. It looked almost like Bin Laden was tired, and it looked like he was struggling to even get back into range because Tanak was doing the better job. He was establishing that jab. He was establishing the range. He was walking Bin Laden down and winning the fight, winning the exchanges, winning the boxing combinations, just looking a lot pressure. And I was like, oh, but didn't you just get knocked down? But he was the pressure fighter in that second round for some reason. And when they got into the third round, it was just more of the same. Tanak was just doing exactly what he does, walking down, landing some body shots, and some shots to the head, ultimately setting up a barrage of strikes, dropping Bin Laden again, and Bin Laden wasn't able to recover from it, ultimately getting Tanak the flash knockdown, getting the knockdown finish. It was a barrage of strikes into knees, into body shot, into more knees, and ultimately just getting that finish. And again, massive celebration, another bonus, and a good performance in the night. Like I said at the beginning of the show, if you want to go watch a fight card with just knockouts galore, I think there was a fight card that we had last year from One Championship, but there were also 12 fights in the fight card, and I think there were also 9 or 10 finishes, just like this one. Go watch this fight card back. I highly recommend it. I will leave the link in the description box of this to the full event because, again, just the finishes were something to witness, and also just the types of fights. I remember on commentary, Mitch Schulzen was saying, "What is in the air? What is in the air? Why is there so many finishes and so many comeback finishes as well?" It was just amazing fight card at the end of the day. But I want to see more of these guys fight. I can believe that they are also strawweight touching bantamweight mark. So fascinating times for the strawweight and flyweight divisions. I think there's going to be a massive influx of top performers for those two divisions, because I think it's safe to say that Tang and Nong O working on the flyweight division at the moment probably only have 2 more years left. Tang's only 28 years old, but he's talking about maybe only 2 or 3 more super fights before he's going to call it in his career. So I can only see that happening within 2 years from now. And then what's going to happen after that? You're going to have to go to the next breed of fighters, right? I think these guys will step up that are currently on the screen right now. But let's keep it moving because, like I said, I want to get through as many of them. Kunpon, he took on Tang Quinn. I don't know if I'm saying that name correct. This fight didn't have a finish. It went all the way. Kunpon just had a very good show out in this fight, just being very elusive. Didn't take any damage. Was the fighter that was utilizing the full array of Muay Thai and the art of 8 limbs. And ultimately just winning the fight by being the smarter, smoother fighter at the end of the day. not much to really take from it, other than the fact that Konpun looks like a really, really good name, and I think I want to watch more of him going forward. Then another fight that took place was the featured bout on the early prelims. Kunoi, he took on Muay Thai from Burma, flyweight Muay Thai. Kunoi, slick, just slick. Did what he had to do to win the fight. Muay Thai doesn't really give you a lot of things to worry about when it comes to the fight. You know he's got power. You know he's going to be durable. You know he's going to stay in your face throughout the fight. You know you're going to have a hard time putting him away. You're just going to have to be on point for majority of the fight because this guy is not going to slow down. However, he's not going to be giving you different types of combinations to worry about, types of kicks to worry about. Just a lot of power shots. Walk you down, put my feet down, and we're going to just going to slug it out here, and that's what he does, right? And Kunoi was too smart for this and too far, too slick. Fought out of the distance, utilized his reach advantage, by the way. Body kicks and jabs all over the place, barely getting touched. Just utilize a really good game plan in terms of staying on the outside and piecing up Muay Thai. Won himself a good decision fight, and not much you can really take away other than Kunoi fought a very clean fight. And watch out, flyweight Muay Thai. We could have another prospect on our hands here because he's a very elusive fighter, and I really enjoyed what I saw. I'm not too sure who you should be getting next. Obviously, the flyweight Muay Thai is stacked with a lot of young guns. But I'm sure one championship will line him up for someone really good in the future. As a Muay Thai, same game said for him, right? He's a prospect. He's always going to put on fantastic fights. So I think getting him in the future is quite prominent. We will see him very, very soon again. All right, then we're going to keep it moving to a strawweight Muay Thai bout between Pakurin taking on Enzo Clarice. I think this was Enzo's debut, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a good fight. Especially because he was the shorter fighter and he had to really do something about that height advantage. Because one thing about Pakurin, if you let him get comfortable, he's going to kick your body. He's going to blast a lot of leg kicks, body kicks, high kicks to you because he's got a really good left leg on him. That's his game plan. And what Enzo did in the fight, which I thought was really good, was he watched tape on Pakurin. So what he did was he closed the distance immediately and didn't allow Pakurin to settle and to sort of just fight outside or fight on the outside the whole time. When they were fighting in the first round, they were battling for range, and Enzo was really trying to make sure that he could stifle all those leg kicks from those body kicks from Pakurin. When they got into the second round, Enzo didn't wait. He just burst straight forward and started letting those heavy hands move, body shot, up, back to the head, back down to the body again, and ultimately dropping Pakurin twice in that second round. The second knockdown was a bit devastating though, because it came from a very hard overhand right, which Pakurin was really kind of rocked at that point, and he just bounced back like this, fall to the ground, couldn't make the 8 count, and Enzo put in a really good performance there. And he took out someone that was really climbing. He took out someone that was really something. Pakurin was really climbing the ranks and was really making a name for himself. And Enzo just kind of burst his bubble, and it's like, oh, I'm also still here. And again, I'm seeing like I'm stuck record here. The strawweight Muay Thai is looking fantastic. It's looking fascinating to watch, and let's see what Enzo's all about as we go forward, because that was a really good performance on him. Pakurin, what can you say, man? These things happen. You get knocked out. I did think that he wasn't gonna do too well, but got to that close quarters, because Pakurin doesn't fight like that. He's very much on the outside kind of guy, piece you up on the outside, and I don't think Enzo allowed that to happen, and that's why he got that finish. But okay, we'll keep it moving. Again, I'm not too sure who they should be getting next, but I'm pretty sure that because they're making weight, these guys will definitely be fighting some top contenders in that strawweight division. This fight was just something out of a Rocky movie. Josh Thorbridge took on Sao Ming, another Burmese fighter. This fight was definitely out of a movie. Josh, only 19 years old, put on a good performance for the most part. I'm going to use his height, use his range, his bantamweight Muay Thai. He stuck it out. I think he lost the first round quite significantly. Second round, he came back. Sao Ming looked a little bit like he was gassing out, while Josh was actually piecing him up and landing some heavy haymakers, good body kicks, good boxing combinations, and he was landing. He was landing some good body shots as well, and you could see Sao Ming was getting exhausted. He was taking deep breaths, and he was like, this is like what's going on here? And Josh was just doing everything that he could possibly in his arsenal to win the fight in the way that he could. But then when they got to the third round, it was a bit of a slugfest, and they were going back and forth, and both guys were really exhausted, but they were just throwing as much as they could. And then Ming, because this Burma fights were so audible, he just threw a boom straight right hook, land on Joshua, getting him all rocked up. He was seeing all sorts of cobwebs, and then Ming, once he saw that Josh was rocked and the blood was coming out, he went in for the kill and just unloaded a boxing combination and dropping Josh really badly, and Josh wasn't able to come back. He just knocked out. They had no recovery, and Ming, again, like I said earlier, this fight card was a fight card of comeback knockouts, because Josh was really coming back hard in that second round. Like, he was really piecing up Ming, and Ming stuck it out. You grateful for his durability, and he did let his hands go. Josh couldn't really take those shots, and he was taking the damage really badly. And I'm amped to see more of Josh. I think he's a good, fun fighter. I don't know if he's gonna be like a top contender, maybe even a title challenger. But he's 19 years old, so I do think that we should be patient for that. As for Ming, again, not like the most deadliest striker, but he's got that Burmese blood, right? So he's just not gonna take the damage. He's in the way, walk right through it, and he's gonna stay in there with you. And because I think there was words from Josh at the end of the fight where he was saying, "What more can you do?" I threw everything at him, and he wasn't able to go down. So I think Ming will always stay in the fight, and you're gonna have to really be prepared for a 3-round war with someone like Ming. But that was a fascinating fight for me, probably second best fight of the night. Right, then we'll keep it moving. Catchweight bout between Zhang Hayang, and he took on Hiroki Naruo from Japan. This was a catchweight kickboxing bout for 159 pounds, and also ended in the first round. Just pretty much a slugfest, right? This guy started the fight. Zhang didn't waste any time. He threw a massive overhand right, catching Hiroki at the back of the head, dropping him, by the way. He made the 8th count, got back up, went straight in for the kill, threw his overhand right, knocking Zhang down. He got a knockdown. And then when Zhang got back up, there was pretty much of a slugfest going on. And Hiroki landed some good body shots, good right hands, some good boxing combinations. I think there was a term that was used to describe Hiroki. It was like a Japanese, what's his name? John Lineker, because of the way he just throws those body shots and those heavy-handed shots. And he's a fun prospect. I like it. I like what I saw. First time watching both these guys fight, so I like what Hiroki looks like. I don't know if he should be that aggressive going into the progression of the competition, because there are some top fighters in the featherweight kickboxing, right? Like I said, Super Bond. What's his name? Tuan, Eri. There's just some top contenders. Let me just see if I can find the featherweight kickboxing. I'm not sure on the website, but we know there's some really good fighters in that division. So I think he's gonna have to work on that, keeping that guard up and not really just getting into some wild exchanges, because we're in fights like this where you can get knocked down at any moment, and Zhang was a gamer for it. It made for a really good fight, and I was really enjoyed it. So yeah, let's see what they do next. I think this was a debut for Hiroki as well, if I'm not mistaken. And now he's on a 3-fight win streak now. 3-fight win streak in one championship. So 22 years old. Yeah, prospect. Definitely a prospect for sure. And then we move it into the 2 MMA bouts that obviously started off the fight card for us. Kasim Magomed. Let me just see if I can say his name correctly. That's her name properly. This is difficult to say. Magomed Shapiev. There you go. Magomed Shapiev. He beat Hidenari Saijo in lightweight MMA bout. Literally TKO'd him in the first 36 seconds of the fight. Spinning back kick opened up the fight, and then Kasim just threw some heavy hands, dropping Saijo ultimately, dropping him so quickly. Went in for a TKO finish, and the referee saved him very, very quickly, by the way. At first I thought it was an early stoppage, but it was a good stoppage, because Saijo, he was seeing 5 different Kasims that were coming with him. So yeah, I think that was a really good start. Early knockout, early TKO, excuse me. So really, really wild fight from both guys. Now Saijo wanted to get in there when he got spinning back kick. But his face was like, oh, okay, let me get in there and just get aggressive. But Kasim didn't align to do anything and just nothing down very, very quickly. Tong being Muay from Vietnam took on Yin Zhao. That was the opening bout. And Yin Zhao won the fight. I thought he was the better boxer, good grappling exchanges, good takedown defense. And when they got to the feet, he was just far the better striker. Like he looked very relaxed. Tong didn't look at him. If you look at he was just panic shooting the whole time because he had nothing on the feet for Jiang Zhao. He had nothing for him on the feet. And he was panic shooting a lot. And Yin Zhao was countering that takedown defense, got back to the feet really well, and then let his hands work and his hands go and won the fight on decision by just being the better boxer. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. That was a very, very good fight card. Lots of knockouts, like I said. Go watch it back and go so you can not just take my word for it, but also see these fights happen. It's a worth a watch. But on that note, if you made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more about content and for more of our updates coming soon. But yeah, on that note, have a good Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.